Welcome to the MEC. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back to MEC Valorant. We are getting ready for our second match of the day. And Cap, we have a playoff preview coming up in just a few moments. It's the fourth seed at the moment, Briar going up against the fifth seed at the moment, Simpson College.
Nice. See, this is going to be interesting because I did get to watch Simpson play and I got to watch Briar College play, and I got to tell you, it is looking rather interesting. Granted that Simpson College, I feel like, needs to improve just a little bit from their last performance, but I still think they're going to be a threat nonetheless. And you know what? I think they only get better every single week. So again, it's going to be interesting to see on how they are progressing through the season. But as you can see, both of these teams can stand to get a huge dub here. I mean, Simpson College currently 2-4 in the fifth spot, and like you said, you got Briar there at the number 4 spot. So honestly, a win right here can really change things up in the standings. I mean, Briar, if they take the dub, they're going to be tied with Cleveland State. Now, if Simpson College get the dub, then they're going to be even with Briar. So again, it's going to really shake things up in the conference just based on this one game alone.
It really is. But a fun fact for you, first round of the playoff is going to see a match between Simpson College and Briar, simply due to how the seeding is, whether it's Briar or Simpson College. These teams are going to play in the playoffs. So, like I said, this is a total playoff preview.
Now, you see, the question is, will this game set the tone for that playoff match? Say if either of these teams win, should we expect them to win in the playoff? Is this going to be a telltale sign, or is this going to be a learning opportunity? Do you show your full hand in this matchup, or do you save the tricky plays for the playoff game? All that remains to be seen as we get ready to head into this matchup.
And it does. We have the map picks in. I know that we're gonna see Haven and Ascent. What was that third map one more time?
We got Split.
Split, yes. Split is that second map, actually. Ascent is the decider if need be. Haven will be starting off, selected by Briar. And I mean, look at the bracket. We got one. And so far throughout the MEC, we have not seen too many deciders coming in. I'm not sure if we've even seen one so far. We've had a lot of 2-0s, but hopefully Simpson and Briar can give us a banger to remember it by. Let's hope for Ascent this time around.
You know what, I gotta tell you, I think it's so funny because there are so many complaints about Ascent throughout the community of Valorant, and I say this all the time, but you never really see Ascent get banned. It's hardly ever in the ban list. But you know what 2 maps I noticed that are in the ban list? Bind and Lotus. I have seen Lotus come through so much through many different tournaments and leagues where Lotus is becoming a really popular pick. Now it's ending up there on the ban list. And Bind, I'm surprised Bind is down there too, because that is also a pretty popular pick. But one thing I am excited to see is that no matter what today, we are going to get a split match, and that is going to be fun. I love watching games go down on split. It throws a wrench into everything. It's like the chaotic opposite of Ascent. You know what I mean? Like Ascent, you expect to know what's going to happen. You know what compositions are mainly going to come out. All the tricks have been determined already. Everybody knows how to play Ascent. Split, there's still a little method to the madness there. There's still some surprises to be seen. So I cannot wait to get into this series.
Let's take a look at the rosters as well. Briar, Simpson College, 2 of the most stacked rosters in the entire conference. And I mean, let's talk about Briar a little bit. Hariri, Freight, Tony, Milk, Konichi, absolute bangers every time that they step on the map. And I mean, if I remember right, Freight actually had one of the highlights of last week. So coming off of a huge stepping stone, a bit of a momentum as well as just a solo confidence booster. Whenever you do something in the game and it's able to get into those highlight reels, it just makes you feel a little bit better than it would if you didn't. And of course, we got Scribe. I've seen them pop off earlier on in the ceiling. Blight has been the rock of Simpson College. Bonsai Anomaly and Siders have been kind of the unsung heroes, but they have absolutely pulled their way. And I can't really say, not really saying the same about Anomaly. They pulled their weight and then some. They have been another hero for the Simpson College. But Bonsai and Satyrs, they've been there. They've been the rocks of the team, the rock and the hard place, if you will. Pretty's not stationary, but they can flip-flop between each other pretty well. And I'm excited to see which composition they go to. Of course, first map's going to be Haven. We've had a lot of differences in composition and strategies when it comes to Haven. We've seen the default, we've seen the hyper aggressive, we've seen the hyper defensive. So there's so many strategies and composition and agent picks that they can just use to completely throw off their opponents. And when you're in this little middle run of the pack type spot that Briar Cliff and Simpson College is, seems like every agent pick just throws them off a little bit more, because this match, this has a lot in tide.
Yeah, and I just also want to point out that this map pick here, Haven, this belongs to Briarcliff. So Split was picked up by Simpson's College. And with that being said, you know, we're getting a look here at the compositions. And take a look at this. Kenichi coming out with that Fade pick. And they're going to go for the double initiator composition with Milk as well. And then we see Freight on the Raze. I absolutely love it. And then also, you know, we got Tony on the Omen and then Hariri on the KJ. This is a pretty standard composition that I expect to see. Meanwhile, on the other side, it's literally a mirror composition. The only difference is that you have that that Sova in, where, you know, on BCU they have Fade. So that's really the only difference. But you know what? I think Kenichi is really comfortable on that Fade pick. So I think they're going to be able to do some damage. But I will admit, you know, Sova seems to be more in line with what the meta is on Haven.
Yeah, I mean, Sova's the tried and true initiator of Haven. Of course, we see a Breach from both of these sides. I do not hate the pick. I've seen a lot of Breach play throughout the MEC season. A little bit more than I was expecting on Haven, but honestly, that was one of those picks that I liked it, but I didn't expect it to be as useful as it actually was. So just proves that I don't know what I'm talking about. Pistol round, and it's Simpson College is going to be starting off on the defense. I've known Briarcliff being a little bit more of an aggressive team, hence the Fade pick. So I'm expecting them to do quite good here on the first half of Haven.
Yeah, it also makes sense that they would want to go for a little more aggression, seeing that, you know, they're going to be starting on the attacker side. And then, of course, we have the duelist difference here with Jet versus a Raze. Now, honestly, I would... this is so tough, because I guess when you're starting off on the defensive side, yeah, Jet makes a little bit more sense. But when you're starting on the offense side, I can understand that Raze as well. I mean, again, after the recent changes being made to Jeff, people are still speculative about their validity. But honestly, I think they're going to be just as viable as ever. And you know what? I've been watching a lot of competitions, and I have yet to see a real decrease in the pick rate for Jet. So again, I'm not expecting them to come out with a disadvantage here, but you can already see the attempt is going down on B.
Average pistol round B hit. Right-click classic from Scribe, doing a really good job the entirety of Simpson College, keeping Briarcliff off of the site. However, Konichi with a casual triple kill almost finds the quad. They're not quite able to get that last one. Close range shots. Tony stuck between a rock and an even harder place. It's going to be Scribe to find that last frag. Simpson College holding it down, keeping Briarcliff off the site and taking the pistol.
And that was a great round, too, because, I mean, Briarcliff, I mean, that makes complete sense to me why they would go for that B push on the pistol round, because B is the easiest place to get the spike down. Granted, they had a little bit more trouble going in on that one, but still, you know, when you're in the pistol round, you want to look for the quick plant, because it's literally pistols. There's really no big advantage or disadvantage going into that one. So you want to try and get spike down as quickly as possible so you can just go immediately into the post plant. But now, unfortunately, they came up short, and now Simpson's College will have the advantage going into round 2.
So just buying up with a Spectre, holding a little bit closer than you typically expect a Jet to do. But I mean, you got a Spectre, you got to make do. Which comes through sewers. A site about to be hit, but the smoke going to come out. This is not going to be an easy round for Briarcliff to win. Aftershock being brought out. Breeze is stranded in the corner. Wall banged all the way to death. Sider's Flight shot down. Getting a couple more Spectre shots off his Bonsai, leaving it all up to Tony. The Omen, goes down to the other Omen counterpart, Scribe.
Yep, and there you have it. I mean, there's really not much doing there in round 2. I mean, this is the script of Valorant, right? You win the pistol, you win round 2, and then you get the bye round on what could be a bonus round for Simpson College. And honestly, your real objective, if you're Briarcliff there in the second round, is to just get as many frags as possible. Just force a rebuy for Simpson's College as often and as much as you can. So by getting those 2 elims, you know, at least they did something. You know, it's better than going in and getting flawless. in that round. But now, here we go. A real opportunity for Briar as they all should have rifles and have a solid buy going into round 3.
The bonus round. Going to have everything they would need. However, Simpson College, they played these last couple of rounds really well. It would not surprise me if they were able to take it. However, statistically, this is supposed to be Briar and Cliff's round. Crazier things have absolutely happened in the MEC. This time they're going to take it a little bit slower. Scribe peeking out. A little bit of a mistake. Loses some HP. But still no kills coming out. 5 versus 5. And we're nearing that 60-second mark. And it seems to be another A-side hit. The majority of this team going through the sewer. And it's a double kill. One with Paint Shell. One with the Vandal of Tony. A-side is a little bit weaker than it was just a second ago. This spike should go down, no problem.
Yep, and down it goes. And now you can see Anomaly trying to push through the smoke, but there's not going to be much doing there. Again, they're at a pretty significant disadvantage, especially now in the post plant. And Briarcliff just have full and complete control of the A site. They have a long, a main sewers. They're going to be perfectly fine. I don't see the retake going to be coming through, but again, it's somewhat a similar situation where you're just trying to get as many exit frags as possible. As now you can see Anomaly does go down, and so does Siders, and eventually Scribe will go down as well thanks to the kill feed. It's going to be a team ace coming from BCU.
Team ace and a flawless, as well as giving Konichi their Nightfall ultimate. That is a major win for this offense of BCU. Simpson College, of course, able to buy up. But, I mean, Konichi and company has everything going for them. They had a flawless round that last one, not losing a single player, getting those kills, getting those ult orbs, helping themselves out, and putting their best foot forward. And I am fully expecting this Nightfall to come out on this A site this time. I mean, look how far they're pushing up. No one is holding close to the site. Oh!
Spike down A.
Yeah, Siders with a very nice shot on Tony, and that's huge. They're getting rid of those smokes very early, so they're going to have to rely heavily on those initiators, on the fade, on the breach, but breach gets cut down. That is even further going to be a detriment for the side of Briarcliff as the Nightfall does come out, and now you can see the trades are being made on the A side. It's going to be a 2v3 Freight now. Going to have to work from the outside in behind box, but Blight is there to get the trade. As you can see, Hariri from behind box is able to find the elim. Spike has yet to go down. It is a 2v1 in the favor of Simpson College.
Okay, just got to find their way onto this site, and faking was maybe not the right call. It calls in the Simpson College defense. It's finally able to get planted, but Anomaly shift walking around the corner, and there's simply no chance. Hariri is able to frag one, but Scribe is still alive, keeping a gun, keeping the round in favor of Simpson College, and grabbing another one.
Yep, not bad at all. I mean, when you look at it, yeah, you feel like Briarcliff maybe should have came out and really took advantage of that Nightfall ult, considering how early they got it. But unfortunately, you know, you just lost 2 pivotal players very early. I mean, you lost your Omen and you lost your Blight right off the rip. So that is, again, going to kind of put a wrench into operations when you're trying to use that Nightfall. I mean, you don't have your entry. So it's kind of a feels bad, but at least they managed to get 4 elims in the process, and they got the spike down. So that is not too bad in terms of economy, but let's see how it's going to affect them now in round number 5.
C-side execute. Smokes come out. Fault line comes out. Paint shells as well. It's up to the KJ utility to try to keep this Briarcliff attack off of it. And Milk going to try to do the same thing, but with the aftershock. Keep this push off of site as long as possible. Get that spike down. Hunter's Fury playing through the walls, wanting to delay the spike as long as possible. Still not down, so I guess it did its job. Unfortunately, for Simpson College, the kills are still coming out. Hariri steps inside of mid, somehow not going down to the Vandal shots, whiff after whiff. Hariri still trying to get this frag, and eventually Sadis just runs away.
Yeah, but take a look at Bonsai from Garage. Nearly had the read on the KJ, but they just missed their shot, just slightly askew. As now only the Jet remains, trying to be a little bit of a lurky turkey here on their way out, going into full retreat. Siders now on the run, and the hunt is on. How
to chase down this wild horse somehow, some way. Siders holds the angle, doesn't land the shot, but manages to avoid nonetheless. Cap, I think Siders is actually going to get away with this. I don't think they know that they're chilling out in the corner. If they land the shot, they might get it, but no, Siders gonna do you one better. Grabs one and runs. Simpson College able to strip off a gun and keep Siders alive.
It's so funny to see, like, in a situation in the blink of an eye, you know, when you're Siders, what was starting off as a tactical shooter soon became a horror game. You know, like you're being hunted by an entire team just ready to try and just put you in the dirt, and you have to get away. You have to survive. That, I mean, I was getting nervous for Siders a little bit, but now we're heading into round 6, and I would be a little bit nervous for Briar. They're still down around, and they're trying to equalize against Simpson College.
Briar wants to try their hand at B one more time. They're going to get it down. Going to have to come out to the retake. Unfortunately for them, B is one of the more easy sites in the game to retake, on Haven especially. Briar is going to have to find a way to play this a little bit longer range. Simpson College does have the smokes. That's going to do a lot of work. There is the showstopper in the hands of Briar, but that showstopper is going to have to be really, really nice. Out comes the spike diffuser, but they go down long range to Hariri. Showstopper not able to grab a kill. Spike is ticking. They've got to hurry up. They've got to find a way to keep BCU off of it long enough to defuse, but they're just not going to be able to. This is going down as a flawless round, Cap.
That was a great round. You know what? The showstopper didn't connect, but it is often said that, you know, that the showstopper is just a zoning ability. That is a deterrent to clear sight, to make sure that they don't stick, and to really just buy time off the spike. And you know what? That's exactly what it did. And then after that, it was just a util dump. I mean, you got the frags, you got the wall, again, the wall explosion coming from Bonsai on the breach. You have paint shells that could have been used if they hadn't been already. And then, of course, you got the KJ, the KJ Mollies. There was just so much going down on that site. It was just so hard to retake. And like you had mentioned, you know, B site is the easier site to retake on, but you know, I gotta say, BCU just did a really good job of running the clock.
Spike down A.
1-for-1 kill over on the A site. Spike carrier gets fragged down. Shorty in the smoke. Bonsai, no chance for Hariri and Tony. That's gonna give over a Phantom. But now Bonsai stuck in a not-so-fun position. Konichi lands got long range. Gets another one as Freight is able to come out of their shell. We got a 1v2 Scribe still running around, but that Shorty eventually finds a big rifle on the ground. They still got to find a way to do this. They don't have really any ult to work with. Not like it would have mattered anyway. Konichi just going insane this round. Briar will manage to get that lead back despite the slow start. And a timeout comes out.
Yeah, and you know what? That was actually somewhat of a big round for Simpson College, because granted that, you know, they didn't get the win, but they still got 3 elims there. So that's going to be 3 rebuys from BCU. But, you know, BCU, they're looking pretty good there in terms of economy. They have enough to retire on at the moment. And Simpson College, you know, they're calling this timeout because they know they should have enough to buy going into this next round. So they're really going to have to try and pull this game back. I mean, we're 7 rounds in. So we're pretty much just halfway done here in the first half. And Simpson College, you know, for being in the lead, the majority so far in the first half have now just lost that lead. So they're losing a little bit of momentum. So they're going to try and figure a way to take some of it back. But right now, if you're looking at the ult economy, Briar have 4 ultimates at the ready, and Simpson College only has the Rolling Thunder.
Briar has won 3 rounds in a row, and Simpson College, they are starting to wonder what to do. They had a big advantage that last round. We saw the double kill with a Shorty, and it still did not matter. Konichi went insane, got a double kill, got those right back. So Simpson College kind of left in the dark. They're able to buy up, so that's going to help their case for this round. But if they lose this one, they're going to be in deep, deep trouble because they do not have any more money after this. Richest player has 800 after buying, and Briar doing absolutely fine.
Let's see if Simpson's College will be able to come through and equalize this scoreline again, as they are going to start off with a big elimination onto Freight. Their duelist is now down in the dirt. However, Freight was the only player on BCU who didn't have an ult at the ready, so BCU still have a big chance here to force their way onto site, and out comes the Nightfall, and they are going to take control here onto C.
Scribe using that teleport though to avoid the effects of the stun, and we got Anomaly. Double with the Vandal. Let's see if they can get a third. Looks like it's going to be Blight. And Riri with the op misses the shot, gives Simpson College the information they need, and that strands the op as well. And just as I said, Briar Cliff might be looking good, sitting pretty. They just lose about 5,000 creds out of an op.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of moolah, but at the same time, you look at Konichi, they're sitting on 9K. They're pretty comfortable right now. They could afford to buy an op if you want to, but honestly, if I'm on the offensive side of BCU and I got a KJ with me, I wouldn't be bothering to buy an op in the first place. Now, however, if I was the Jet on the side of Simpson College, I would have been running down C main trying to grab that op. Again, that would have been huge on the defensive side if you ask me, especially in the hands of a Jet. But with that being said, the op does go out and towards the wayside. BCU, they lost their Nightfall, but they still have 3 ults to play with, and Simpson College still are holding on to that Rolling Thunder.
West side execute. Yet again, Recon Bolt gets destroyed, does not spot anyone out, and the Paint Shell forcing Blight out of their position. Anomaly tries to stay alive, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Briar Cliff plants on C, Rolling Thunder, and Into the Shadows still available. For Simpson College, it is just the Rolling Thunder, and they're down by 2 players. This round should be easy peasy for Briar Cliff, but don't speak too soon.
Hold on, that retake is coming, and now you can see Tony there throwing out the paranoia, trying to get the flank, and then it's a mean one, but they get called out, and now it's a 1v1 between Milk and Siders. They know full and well where Milk is. You gotta be in the cubby, but meanwhile, look at Konichi here from Garage, able to get a flank here, and now here comes the 1v1. Siders now going for the defuse here. They have to fend off the Prowler, and right now you can see Konichi just playing with Siders, and eventually is able to get the final elim and the go-ahead round win for BCU.
I thought I was worried I talked too soon there, Cap. Briar Cliff made that round a lot, or Simpson College made that round a lot closer than it should have. I mean, a 4v2 with 2 ops on the table, that should be Briar Cliff's round all day, but no, that ended in a 1 versus 1. Good job, Siders, keeping that round close, keeping Konichi on their toes, but I mean, Konichi honestly performs well under pressure, performs even better than they do when they're not. Right now, they're 13-4. Everyone else does not even have double digits.
Well, Siders now is going to pop the Blade Storm. They're going to be looking to try and get into double digits here as they have an opportunity, but the knives simply are not on target. And it looked like Milk is going to avoid the danger. Meanwhile, look at Tony here just lurking in sewers, wondering if anyone is going to fall for that one. Meanwhile, you can see the spike, and the rest of Briar Cliff are going to be going towards B.
Milk finds first frag. This is massive. You got to have that advantage if you want to make a B execute work, especially on a buy round. Easy side to retake. It's going to be difficult, but Omen with an Odin peeks out, and it does not work in the slightest, leaving it up to Bonsai. Stunned, blinded, marked, and Tony ends it out. 6 rounds guaranteed for Briar Cliff, so no matter what happens, they're going into halftime at least with a tie ball game.
At the bare minimum, and you know, they barely lost any of their players there. They're going to be doing pretty well in terms of economy. Now, Simpson College looks like they're going to be forced into somewhat of an eco round here. It's not looking too good. It's a whole lot of sheriffs, but you know, we have seen a lot of players, you know, get those head clicks. So again, you know, all it's really going to take is maybe 1 or 2 limbs. You pick up some rifles, and then you're back in the game. So let's see if Simpson College can make a thrifty happen. We get ready to go into round number 11.
Fault line for fault line on a long Siders ratty angle with the Bucky. And I mean, if you're gonna be a rat, there's no better gun to use. Prowler gonna come out completely missing. Siders only able to get one. That could have been a lot worse. Bonsai gets a little overzealous. Blight runs in with the sheriff. Oh no, it doesn't connect. Oh, that's unfortunate. Simpson College had so many chances. They got the first frag, but now it is looking bleak as the op goes pop.
Yep, that it does. And now only Scribe remains, and they have a Marshal in hand. Not looking too good. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can make something happen with the Marshal, but, you know, when you have an op and 3 other players on the field, it's going to be difficult. But they're going to start off good by getting that elim onto Freight. And now I don't know if they're just going to play for exit frag. And maybe just try and extend the timer here. I mean, there's really not much doing for them as they try and go 1v1 against this op again. They do manage to get one shot off. They get blinded and they miss the second. And Konichi broke the bond of a 1v1 sniper battle and whipped out the pistol. Shame on him.
Why don't my right clicks connect like that? Like, come on now. That was like 15 meters away. That was insane accuracy.
Yeah, my right clicks never land. I do better just trying to spray and pray. You know, again, I never thought I would have to go into the shooting range and maybe practice my right clicks with the classic, but you know what? Maybe I do. Maybe I do if I want to try and rank up a little bit or be like Konichi, you know, and just land those from a solid distance. But regardless, BCU now have a guaranteed 7. And if Simpson College isn't careful, they could be going into the second half in an 8-4 split.
Not a good score to be at. However, it is Haven, so we can let some of these things get away. However, look at this lockdown. It's a complete fake, drawing everybody off of B and C over to A, and now C site is completely opened up. Showstopper from Freight. They're going to shoot it right at Anomaly's feet. That will be the end of the KJ. As well, Simpson College bringing out the Hunter's Fury, doing some damage. Actually, I stand corrected, getting a frag onto Freight. Scribe with the Odin, still can't make it work. Double for Konichi, and Siders is the last to fall. Briar Cliff go to 8 rounds.
And leading the way is Konichi. Again, they popped off. I mean, they got a 3K just in the pistol round, and what better way to finish the round than with another 3K, especially there at the end. Again, they were just playing the corners, and they were working the angles perfectly, and then having a celebratory Nightfall. Why not? It is a very appealing ultimate. I mean, it looks amazing, and especially for Halloween time. Nightfall is just spooky. Very spooky ultimate for a very spooky character.
Cannot argue with that, my friend. So, Simpson College needs to do quite a bit of work here on the attack. I think that's going to help them out because Briar Cliff has a much more attacker-sided composition, of course, with that raise and that fade. So I think Simpson College should have a little bit of an easier time on this attacking side, considering they have the more balanced composition, the Sova and the Jet. It's definitely not going to be easy, but it should be a lot easier for Briar Cliff as we see the shots coming out long range. Siders finally getting to work with that Ghost. The Sheriff's did not land a little bit earlier ago, but you know what? We got the Ghost now. It's so much better anyways.
Spike planted.
Only Milk remaining now, and well, actually no, it's a 2v4. My apologies. Milk just trying to even the odds. Not able to really land any head clicks here as they swing onto logs, but there are 2 players waiting, and then they get smoked off. Again, not much doing. You're just gonna have to go out and face the music, but Tony finds a 2K in the trade. But still, Simpson College just had the number games on their side, and they're able to take the pistol in the second half.
Don't see too many C-side executes on the pistol round. But this time, I guess Simpson College just got a wild hair and decided to go at the longest sight with pistols. And I mean, hey, it worked. Started off with a 4 versus 2, got the plant down, and there was no shot for Briar Cliff. A couple of kills later, that was the end of it.
And if you're on the side of Simpson College, you definitely want to come out with the pistol win because, again, that's nearly going to guarantee you at least another win, putting yourself within 1 of equalizing. But if we do remember, Simpson College, they were able to take the dub on the pistol round in the first half, and now Hariri, 2 back-to-back Marshall Olymps, gets a 3rd Hariri, showing us all how to use the Marshall, and finally will be gunned down. BCU now stand to come through with a thrifty round and will deny Simpson College their second here in the second half.
Unreal. They should have bailed on the C-Sty as soon as they saw Hariri with that Marshall. I mean, the Marshall Menace term was invented for people just like Hariri. 3 with the Marshalls, all of them headshots, Cap. That's honestly what makes it more impressive. There wasn't like anybody on Simpson's side that just didn't buy armor and got body shot. No, they were all headshots. That is absolutely unreal. I mean, technically, if we're just counting headshots, the Marshall's better than the Operator.
Yeah, because the Marshall does have a higher rate of fire. So if you're going
Exactly.
straight for headshots and you're getting head clicks, yeah, 100%. That's why you got to have somebody who is pretty sick on the sticks if they're going to be using the Marshall. I mean, we've already seen the Marshall come out against the Op, didn't fare well. And now Hariri, they know they're out for revenge. They said we can't allow Hariri to get away with that Marshall 3K.
Konichi wants to keep this away. The push comes out, but the flank is even harder. Milk, no chance for them. Up to the Jet and the Sova. It's going to be a... I thought that was a no-scope, but no, it was a shock dart frag. Unfortunately for SC, it did not really matter. Briarcliff's going to reach double digits nonetheless, and the attacker side just not going the way that Simpson College had hoped. Despite winning the pistol round, they've lost the next two, and they're still feeling the effects.
Yeah, they are. You saw they weren't able to fully buy there. I mean, I think we saw some half shields, and we don't even know what their equipment looks like. You know, they might have had to skimp and save on some equipment, but regardless, you're right. BCU still very much handling the economic side right now. They are just dominating and when it comes to the power of the purse, and they did so in the first round too. So let's see if they're going to be able to hang on to it as they have doubled their lead now over Simpson College.
They have. This is a pseudo bonus round, if you will, considering Simpson College was not able to win the last two. They got enough money to buy up now. It's looking pretty good for them as well. First frag comes out. The KJ is eliminated on the side of Briarcliff, but this retake hits like a train, a freight train, if you will. Triple kill with the Vandal. Quadruple kill. Keeps everybody off the side, but look at Scribe circling around. The Prowler's going to expose them. And let's not forget, Freight is on for an ace. Blinded, though. Honestly, let's see if Freight tries to hunt this down if they play the smart. Spike is stranded on the C site.
You gotta let Freight ace. Well, although it is a 2v1, so maybe you don't want to risk it for the biscuit, but still, though. When you got your friend there who is about to ace, you let them know where their omen is, you give them all the intel they need, and try and give them the ace. Meanwhile, if you're Scribe, I don't know, maybe you just go for the denial here. Maybe you go for a save, because, again, you and your team had to buy up. So you had to risk a lot going into this round, and you can't really afford to let it go. So do you save the Phantom, or do you just go for broke and see if you can make a miracle happen? Well, here we go. Look at Konichi, able to get the final limb, and no ace for Freight, but it's still a win for Briarcliff.
Simpson College decides that they want to try their hand at the 1v2 clutch, and it does not work out. And alas, Simpson College stuck in a situation where they don't have a lot of money. They're stuck in a situation where Briarcliff is one round off of match point. Statistically, this round is going to go to Briarcliff, considering they don't have enough to full buy up. I think that was not worst case scenario, but it was probably worse than average case scenario, considering Briarcliff is on an insane run right now. Simpson College has not gotten around since the pistol round of this half, and Briarcliff has just hit harder and harder every single round. But I do like the timeout called. I think that is absolutely necessary.
I mean, I do too, but honestly, I think the timeout call was necessary one round ago. Literally the previous round that we just saw, that's when you should have called your timeout, because that was the round that honestly was a must win. Now you're going into this round and you don't have a bye. You're going into somewhat of an eco round, at best a broken bye, but it seems like the match point from BCU is inevitable. You want to get that timeout, you want to strategize when you have more power economically. Now it's looking a little bit broken. So again, that match point should be just all but guaranteed for BCU.
Need to see some pop-off potential from Siders. They do have the Blade Storm up and online. I'm assuming they're going to use it in substitute of a primary weapon. It looks like that's exactly the plan. Let's not forget, Briarcliff just one round off of match point, like we've been saying. They only have one ult, though. Simpson College has the advantage there with a Blade Storm and Hunter's Fury. But it might not even matter. Hold on a sec. Scribe, though, takes down Freight. Unfortunate way to start off with Briarcliff, but Simpson College, this was kind of the miracle that they needed. They were able to strip Freight away, and Freight's been going insane.
Well, here we go. Look at this. Sliders with the Blade Storm. Able to find one. Looking to get two, but Konichi is able to gun them down when they only have 1 health remaining. Very dangerous now for Konichi. It is a 3v4 advantage still in the favor of Simpson College. Anomaly able to find one on Hariri thanks to the Nano Swarm. Now Simpson College could come through with a huge win. Milk, hold the phone. Konichi and Milk able to find an limb there. And now things are looking a little bit better for BCU. We got ourselves an even round 2v2, now 2v1 after Milk is able to turn on Blight. And only one player remains. Again, they're going to continue to fake the defuse, and Milk able to get the read, going to get the round win, and will walk away with the 3K for the breach.
Simpson had the whole world in their hands, and at the last minute, it was stripped away by Breach. Unbelievable. They're going to have enough barely to full buy. Actually, they aren't able to full buy. Scribe missing out on the Vandal by 50 creds. So a headshot from the Phantom is going to end their round off. Match point for Briar Cliff. I mean, this was their pick, so we expected them to come out and have a good time, but I did not expect this bad. Simpson College was going toe-to-toe with them in the first half, but ever since, Briar Cliff hit the ground and they sprinted away. As look at Hariri with the operator. Unbelievable, Hariri. Don't do it again.
I'm all for it. My favorite type of plays are the sniper battles. You know, I love watching the op and also the Marshal, clearly. Hariri, pretty talented with both, but now Hariri, they don't have to focus on headshots anymore. They can hit somebody in the knee and still come away with an elimination. So Hariri, even more dangerous than before. It's going to be interesting to see what highlights they might be able to make with it, as nobody wants to smoke. Look at Siders. They're playing over there on C long, but we know full and well they do not want to push that, and nobody wants to push Milk in mid either.
Spike down in attacker spawn. That is one of the voice lines that we don't hear that often. Rolling Thunder now breaching everything in mid. It's a double. It's only one more frag. Bonsai gets caught out, tries to run away, but the headshot long range will end the map of Simpson College. Final score 13-5. Big GG's Briar Cliff.
Oh, absolutely. They came out with some authority. Again, they picked Haven. Haven's their map, and they showed why. They held it down like that was their, their home field. That was their home turf. They defended it very well. And not only that, but on the offense, they were just very aggressive. I mean, they started out on offense. They came in strong. And I got to tell you, we already talked about this team being very aggressive, very offensive-sided is BCU. But I got to tell you, they brought just an equal amount of aggression on the defensive side as well.
Oh, for sure. I'm really impressed by the balance that Briarcliff was able to show on such a one-sided map, considering it has 3 sides. There's so much more space that the attackers can work with. It's obviously an attacker-sided map, but I mean, Briarcliff did not make it seem like that. It just seemed like a Briarcliff-sided map because it kind of was. They went crazy, and big kudos to them. Simpson College, better luck in split, I guess.
Oh, and they're going to have a lot of luck because you got to keep in mind, this is going to be their map pick. So if they have that map knowledge down like BCU has onto Haven, then this very well could be and should be a Simpson College map coming up on Split. But before then, we're going to have to take a quick short break, but don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with more Valorant right here at the Midwest Esports Conference.
And we're back like we weren't even gone. Map 2 of the second match of the day is about to get underway. It's Briarcliff versus Simpson College. If you're just joining us, Briarcliff made pretty quick work of Haven, taking it 13-5, but now we flip-flop. We're going to Simpson College pick, which is Split. Yes, it is Split.
Yep, that it is. And you know what? I really love watching Split. Again, I'm really looking to see some controllers that have walls, okay? Mostly Viper, just because Viper is my favorite agent. So again, I'm always going to be biased. But anybody that can really just smoke off and wall off Heaven, and can really take control of the site. I really like that. Just because, again, I think those walls on both sites, on A and B, really go a very long way. So again, that's what I would hope to see. But the thing about Split is that I have seen a lot of different compositions, but at the end of the day, you really got to find that method in the madness that is Split. And also whoever can take control of mid. Again, mid is where you go to duel it out. That's where all the gun duels go down. So let's see what these compositions will look like.
I have a bold prediction. I'm expecting a double controller. I'm saying it right now. I'm expecting a double controller, an Omen and a Viper from one of these teams. As it looks right now, is that a deadlock? Cap,
that is a deadlock.
I have yet to see a deadlock picked in competitive play.
I have.
I respect that
seen
pick.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not my favorite pick because, again, I think they need a buff, like, drastically, because that net nade is, like, the biggest waste of economy I've ever seen in Valorant. Meanwhile, look at Haribi hovering over that chamber pick. That is interesting. Meanwhile, it looks like on the side of Simpson College, they're hovering that Sage pick. That Sage is definitely an OG to Split. You know, that was back when Split was in rotation the first time, and they would drop the ice wall right there in mid. And that is a tried and true oldie but goodie. But meanwhile, again, look at Hariri. They're not too sure about the chamber. Do you really want to go double sentinel here on Split?
I don't think so.
Yeah, decisions.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not with deadlock. If they really want to go double sentinel, I think they switch out the deadlock for a KJ, because KJ and chamber, that has some implications. That has some initiative. But deadlock, I just don't really like the deadlock pick, period. I respect it 100%. Do not get me wrong. But I just think there are so many better sentinels, such as KJ, even Cypher. I mean, we've seen a lot of Cypher here on Split lately. There's been a couple of crazy cams that we're not even 100% sure are allowed, but you know, they haven't been told not. So this is the comp we're rocking with. No Cypher, no KJ. We have a Sage, Deadlock, and a Chamber for the 3 Sentinels, which is a little bit unexpected.
Oh, 100%. But I got to give Deadlock credit for one thing, and it's because they have the funniest ult in the game. It is absolutely hilarious when someone gets snatched up in the cocoon and they're like, help me! You know, they're just screaming and they're just being drugged through the air. And they're just trapped. It is absolutely hilarious. And then everybody tries to save them or just leave them to their doom. But still, it is absolutely funny to just watch someone slowly go to their demise. But here we are getting ready to go into the pistol round on Split. And it will be Simpson College to start off on the offensive side of the spike.
I think this is going to help out Briar just a little bit. They got a more defensive composition. So they're starting on defense. And typically, historically, Split has been a little more defender-sided. It has been crazy defender-sided, but it hasn't been enough to see a chain, see a pattern, I would say. B-site immediately forfeited up, and this is going to have to be a retake by the Briar side. Simpson College not even losing a player.
You got to love that net nade, right? It came in handy just then on the spike, and just... So, such a great piece of utility there. As you can see, the trades now are being made onto site, and it is going to be a 4v2 in the favor of Simpson College. As they try to mount something. Tony able to get at least one shot off and on the limb. Blight now going to be working within that deadlock wall, and not much doing here. This should be a pretty solid round for Simpson College as Spike continues to take away. And finally, Freight will go down. Round number 1 goes the way of Simpson College.
Briar really doesn't have a retake-based composition. I feel like they're going to have to play so much more forward because the retakes are going to be few and far between for the defensive side anyway. For Simpson College, I think when we get to switching, there will be a little bit more retake potential, but with this composition, no way. Chamber, deadlock, it's just not happening. You can have all the breach, all the raids that you have in the world that you can want, but you're not gonna be able to retake against this Simpson College team. You're gonna have to try to play the denial game, or else you're just not gonna work.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Chamber can be viable, but you got to go like really frag heavy. You know, you got to be getting the limbs because there's really, again, not much in this composition that's going to be helping you otherwise. And, you know, deadlock, we just really haven't seen a place where they fit in yet. And Simpson College now are going to get an easy spike plant, a free plant now onto the B site. You can see Briar, they're in full rotation going all the way back to attacker spawn.
Long circle around. Talk about a flank of all flanks. Bulldog of Scribe does not land its intended target. Got a Ruri coming out with a headhunter from mid. Anomaly, of course, walling off heaven. Close range shot with the classic, simply no chance. Scribe eventually going down. Blight shot down to a very low amount of HP, and that will likely end the round off as it's the judge of Bonsai that also turns out to be the jury and executioner of round 2 as we go to the bonus.
Yeah, I expect to see a lot of Judge here on Split. I've seen teams literally just go all Judge and just go all gas and no brakes. Just hold W and just start shooting. Like, I've literally seen that strat, and it has worked. I have seen it work here on Split. So, again, I really hope to see a lot of Judge gameplay as we get ready to head into that bonus round. And now, you know, let's see what BCU can do now that they have a respectable bye. And hopefully they can, you know, make this composition work.
Nothing says high-level competitive Valorant like 5 auto shotties. Bonus round, Briar Cliff now has 5 Vandals or Phantoms, whatever they decide to choose. And Bonsai still thugging it out with the Judge. This tries to be a B hit. I like the push on B a little bit better if you have a Judge, but it's a little bit closer. Tony peeks out. Curiosity almost kills the cat, but they get away with it this time. Slow orb. Doesn't really do much. It does deny Tony from re-peeking, so that'll help out. But as the smoke decides to get popped, it looks like Simpson decides they don't want to try it. They thought they did, but they're going to fall back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the right call. Meanwhile, they are going to be making their way over towards mid, and they're 3 stacking mid right now, and nobody wants to peek there either. Look at the long rotation all the way to A now, back through attacker spawn. That's where the spike is headed, and meanwhile, you got BCU that are just looking for heads here in the mid, and they're not going to find any.
Riri somehow gets back all the way to their spawn. Paranoia gonna blind him. Anomaly will
left.
plant on the A site. I'm honestly not sure how they got there, but they did. And it's up to another retake. This is where Briarcliff is going to struggle. They have a counter flank on the side of Siders. Scribe, close range, does get taken down. The Judge only able to get 1, but you got to be careful. Siders is following you. Knife in hand and a Marshall in the side. And they just don't know that Siders is there. This could be detrimental to everything Briarcliff have planned. Dashes out of the way and picks up a Phantom. This is a 2 versus 2. Konichi shuts it down, but Hariri lands the last one, and Briarcliff gets away with a round that I was not confident they had.
Oh yeah, and that's what we're gonna need to see a lot more from Hariri. You got to keep in mind that Hariri was the sniper there on Haven, and they were watching long. They were popping off with the Marshal and with the Operator, and now they're going onto a Chamber, who is going to have to be that top frag. They're the ones that's going to have to get the pick almost every single round. That's what Chamber is most viable at after their rework, to put it lightly. I mean, to me, they just debuffed Chamber straight out of the meta. But regardless, Chamber now is the pick machine. That is the one you want to start things off, especially on the defensive side. Let's see if Hariri can come through for Briarcliff as they look to equalize.
Unfortunately for Hariri, they're going to get smoked off in the rope room. Scribe trying their way on the A site. Doesn't look like it's too well defended. Tony holding a little bit further back, misses the shot on Scribe, and the attacking home is going to get the better side of that one. Cloudburst comes out yet again. Anomaly wants to plant, but they're having a really tough time doing so. Barrier Orb denying Milk of getting onto site, and this will have to be another retake. Freight using that blast pack, swinging out, getting Anomaly down, and just like that, Briarcliff has firm control over this site.
Yeah, they do. That was a pretty good shot by Blight. Through the smoke, finds another! The smoke is not an issue for Blight, but eventually they will go down to the double swing, and now looking to stick the defuse. Milk able to get the job done. Pros don't fake, and neither does Milk.
Simply no chance for that one. As soon as Simpson College let the first couple of kills come through, it was all over there. It was a nice attempt at the 2v2. Still, not a shot. Round 5 now coming out, and the cred situation is looking rather bleak for this attacking Simpson College size. We see 2 judges coming out this time rather than just 1. So, I mean, if Simpson College are able to keep this round closer range, then they might have a shot at catching BCU off guard. But BCU is not one to be easily fooled.
Yeah, take a look at this. They're taking the spike right up mid this time around, and BCU, they're set up there and waiting. They have Hariri and Milk as the push does come in. The rendezvous goes out, and there's an early trade here in mid. It looks as though Simpson College will be able to take control, but look at the kill feed there. Konichi comes through, and they land the ult. The cocoon is out, And it will be Simpson College to save their teammate. No, actually, they just let them die. Okay, I thought they were going to turn around and try and save them from the cocoon, but oh well. Simpson College still get the dub.
You know why they didn't save him? It gives them the ult. They only had 7 orbs. That kill, or that death, gave them the ult. So now, Simpson College has 3 ults coming into this next round. That's genius play.
So wait, off the death you get an orb?
Yeah, you get an orb off death.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. Big brains coming.
Fantastic strategy from Simpson College. Sure, you'll lose 2,900, but you get the showstopper, which is worth its weight in gold and then some.
Time to hunt.
Okay, so we got some high IQ big brain plays coming from Simpson College as now they do take the lead over BCU as Milk with the Marshall. I love how often we are seeing the Marshall in the kill feed between the first 2 maps, and now they get a read on the Jet, and the right click is on target. Freight able to find the Elim, but if they can get down there, they can get the weapon too, but no, Anomaly was there, and they use the weapon as bait.
Tour de force out for Riri. I like this play. They have been going crazy with the scoped weapon so far. Oh no, look at Breach over on A site, running away from the cavalry, and with Siders getting resurrected, that's going to help them out a lot. But look at the judge. 1, 2, and 3 strikes. Simpson College, you are out. Anomaly left with just 100 HP. There's no shield, there's no nothing. Tour de force ends this round. Give it a thrifty for Briar Cliff, and here Riri will pick up a Vandal for their troubles.
I just want to point this out again because, again, you're going to hear me say on how much I think Deadlock needs a buff on their net nade. The side effect from the Tour de Force alone is just as effective as the net nade. I just want to reiterate on how bad I think the net nade actually is. A piece of utility from a character is just as effective as a side effect from someone's ultimate. But regardless, it is a tie game for BCU. All deadlocks aside.
Yeah, I would have much preferred a different Sentinel, or maybe even a second initiator or a second controller. I just do not think Deadlock is the play. And I mean, that's absolutely no shade to that player. They're fantastic. I think it's Freight who decided to go with the Deadlock. And I mean, Freight, they are a mechanically gifted player. They're fantastic. They have the aim of an insane guy. But the utility's just not going to be there the entire game. They essentially have just one player playing with a weakened utility, a diluted utility sense. Not sense, but dilated utility kit. That's what I was trying to say. That was hard to get out. Ugh.
Oh yeah, I mean, if anything, you're really kind of doing the other team a favor because when you force them to crouch, their aim just gets better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. And again, it's nothing towards the player at all. I just love clowning Deadlock. Oh. Most specifically the net nade.
Yeah, right. It bounced off of the Seeker. Are you kidding me? Also, it was not Freight. It was Kenichi. But I mean, man, come on. The net nade bounced off of the cabbage. Are you kidding me? Oh, Siders running it up CT. Can't land the last one. Only able to find one. But the retake still coming in. There's a bucket close range for Bonsai. Best range for it to be here. Riri might just end up losing this one. No! Somehow Riri stays alive. Rolling Thunder comes through on this retake. Deadlock is still alive. Able to find one, but only one. Nearly a double for Milk. It's a Riri left alive. It's only the Sheriff. The shots do land. Took them a little bit, but they're able to get the frag.
That was a big round for Simpson College there, and it came down to the Sheriff. And I had mentioned earlier, you know, when you put the Sheriff in the right hands, it can be just as deadly as any rifle. It's all going to take just a click to the dome piece, and it'll get the job done. Meanwhile, look at this buy-up coming from BCU. Hariri going to be taking out the operator here. That is some confidence. This is a risky play. But at the same time, BCU, they do have 2 ults at their disposal, and one of them is the showstopper.
Yeah, the showstopper could have massive implications for Briar Cliff. Just depends on where they pop it, when they pop it, and how effective it is. Does it do damage or does it not? Because honestly, I've seen a couple of times where they've tried the showstopper and it just somehow goes right through them. Speaking of not going right through him, the wall gets shot down, and Konichi immediately shoots the wall kicker down as there's Freight close range. Spectre comes out, gets away with a kill, and the Phantom, and they're going to re-peek. They've dipped their toes back in. They've got another one. Oh, long range.
And not looking
Simpson?
good. Bonsai only got 1 health left.
The overgrowth's going to help out, but I mean, Spike is stranded across the path of no return. Like, I got a feeling we're just going to be winning this 45 seconds out.
It would probably be the smart play here. I mean, if you're going to go and try for a save, I mean, yes, you save 2 Vandals, and you also deny 2 eliminations to the side of BCU, and you have the lead. Keep that in consideration. Like, next round is going to be a tie game no matter what at this point. I mean, if you're going to try some heroics, good luck, because, again, not much doing there. Freight almost getting the ace. Once again, we'll get a 4K. But, yeah, I don't know. I think maybe going for the save could have been a little bit more beneficial, but who am I? There's a reason I'm on the desk and they're on the field, so to speak. As now we have ourselves that tie game. BCU managed to even the odds yet again.
No, I definitely like the save play, considering they're not able to full buy up. There's I know there's one player who had a Bulldog. I don't know if they sold it or they kept it, but one of them did have a Bulldog. One of them had a pistol and like $2,000. That is not enough to full buy, not even close. Best they can get is probably a Marshall and Light or a Spectre and Light. Honestly, for split, I'm thinking probably Spectre and Light, but I mean, hey, we will see. We've seen Thrifties before this game. We've seen it earlier in the series. We are honestly due for a second one as the net nade comes out, as well as the aftershock. Going to delay this push from Simpson College a little bit longer.
Yeah, a nice blind up towards heaven as Milt will get gunned down by the judge. And again, those judges really making a major difference here on split. And we have seen a lot of that judge gameplay. Meanwhile, Konichi, thanks to the kill feed, able to find a 2K, looking for a third from down low. But look at Tony. Tries to land those shots with the Sheriff, but instead will get put down by the Bulldog. And off the flank, takes their time. Hariri will get the final elimination and the go-ahead round win for BCU.
Hariri sees the shot, lines it up, slowly moves their mouse to the target, and left click. Briar Cliff takes the lead off of a denied Thrifty from Simpson. That was looking kind of scary for Briar Cliff, but then the showstopper. Oh, the showstopper. I was talking about it earlier. It's worth its weight in gold and then sub. And I mean, it just ranged true. There is no ult that can do as much damage in one foul swoop like that.
Well, here we go. It looks like the play is a little bit of a split push here between mid and B, although you do have that lurker over there towards A. But, you know, that net nade, my goodness, they had to avoid that danger.
That's brutal. That's brutal.
Yeah, they're going to have to rotate back. I mean, you don't want to get caught by that again.
I am all for the deadlock slander. This is good. This isn't funny. No, this is funny. This is hilarious.
Cover going out.
This isn't funny. This is hilarious. That's what I was trying to say. B-side execute. It's the dash. It's the updraft. Does not work the way Simpson College intended it, though, with Tooney getting a double kill. Maybe a triple kill. Bonsai left with 45 HP and getting chased down. We got a flawless round as Bonsai's the last to fall. And we've reached a similar situation, Cap. Briar Cliff still 2 rounds off of halftime, and they've already secured a tie ball game.
Oh yeah, they're doing phenomenally, and again, you know, they're able to really turn that scoreline around. And like I said, you're really going to need that chamber to pop off, and they've been doing it pretty well, I must say. Even when they're not getting the initial picks or the first peaks, they always just come through with the cheekiest lineups, you know, the cheekiest angles to just get a random one shot with that op when you least expect it. Even on the flank, who flanks with an operator? Apparently, Konichi does. Oh, I'm sorry, Hariri does. And they're pretty good at it too. Meanwhile, look, once again, it looks like it's going to be a focus onto mid, as here comes the cavalry from Simpson College. They are going full push into mid.
Pushing up slowly. Ability now coming out. Net nade coming out. Oh no, so brutal. 1 kill for Konichi. Scribe able to get that back though. Deadlock goes down. I'm not sure if Milk knows that Blight is still there. Blight knows. and has the ultimate if they choose to use it. Peeks out. Oh my goodness, what a shot. Was that while walking?
I'm not sure. That one, again, you blink and you miss it, and I think I might have blinked. Oops. Meanwhile, it is going to be a 3v4 in the favor of Simpson College, and they still have control of the spike here. Freight, meanwhile, playing a little peekaboo over here towards Heaven, and they are going to be 3-stacking here, but Freight doesn't care! They're going to push. They find a 2-piece, and Blight is right around the corner, and they know it. They're throwing the nade right there. Perfect paint shell.
Oh, a no-scope attempted. Honestly, I'm not sure how it missed at that close range. Freight should be able to hold this one out. Now they decided to get off of it, help Milk out. Not even needed. So we got Briar winning out another retake, and it was honestly all thanks to Tony, who decided to just push on through. Or sorry, the Freight that decided to push on through that cloud burst. Nobody expected them to push through that, so they just stopped looking. And that's where you're wrong, because Freight ego pushes. Because he's the freight train. He's not going to stop for anything.
Yeah, clearly not. And, you know, they did, again, a really great job there just by, I mean, normally I don't advocate for the ego chow, but you know what? If it is least expected, you got to keep the enemy on their toes. And like you said, no one was suspecting that one. Meanwhile, once again, BCU going to be bringing out the power of the purse here. They have a fantastic buy going into this round, and already Freight is going to pick up right where they left off and find themselves another limb. But here comes the res. And they're able to bring that jet right back up and into the fight.
That'll help out. Essentially, it's just a 5 versus 5 again, but it strips away an ultimate from Simpson College, so that's always useful. Freight is playing so insanely close. This could be very good or very bad. There's no in-between. Another showstopper. It looks like it's going to be very good. They try to fire it in out. A little bit of damage done. Oh, no, it's a Phantom Think. Siders tries to keep him away with the judge. We got double judge action. Milk, you got to run away from that. You are not winning against it.
It's always some fun with the judge, and I gotta tell you, it's pretty dangerous when you put them in the hands of a jet and a raise. But Tony gonna be watching the ropes. They're able to find one, looking to get this final elim onto Bonsai. Konichi, what a cheeky flank. They're pinched. I mean, there's nothing you can do. You're pinched. You're stuck in ropes. Tony on the other side, and then you have Konichi, who gets gunned down by the judge, and Tony able to wrap things up nicely for BCU.
8-4 yet again. We see a carbon copy of map 1, which was Haven. Briar started on the attack last time, and they were able to make it just as well as they did this time. So Simpson College has to find a way to hold this off, and they have a much more attacker-sided composition, meanwhile, or a much more defender-sided composition, excuse me, whereas Briar they do as well. Simpson College should have, I repeat, should have a much easier time this time, whereas Briar they're stuck with a hyper-defensive composition trying to attack. It is, of course, split, so it's a little bit closer. The composition doesn't matter, quote, as much, but it's still going to be in favor of Simpson College, at least for the utility.
Hey, when it comes to utility, you know, BCU, they definitely have what it takes to be very offensive. And already BCU able to find 2 frags, and the one thing they still have is Deadlock's net nade. That right there is all you need to be an aggressive, successful offense. Meanwhile, look at Milk, gonna be working their way from the A back site. And Hariri gonna be pushing the smoke, has the headhunter, and Scribe literally walked headfirst into a headhunter.
1 versus 5. Raze is stuck. Bonsai's completely stuck. There's a smoke on one side. There's that deadlock wall that just went down, as well as just a casual 5 players. They all know exactly where the last player is, and that's going to be a murder-suicide. Okay, Freight.
Actually, you know what? That might be somewhat big brain because you deny them the elim, or does it still count? I mean, do you deny a player the econ that they would get from the elimination? Like, I don't know.
I think it was Freight's paint shell. I think Freight brought it out, got the kill, and then just killed himself. Not sure why, but they decided to do it. It worked out. It got the round. Exactly, that's what it is. It got the round though. I'm not too upset about it. Puts Briar on 9, just 1 round away from double digits, which will be monumental for their economy, as well as just their morale. Another A push, and Blight's going to try to keep it out. I mean, hey, look at the classic starting to pop off. Free gun does not play like it. There's another one with it.
Last player standing.
Blight should have just been using the classic this entire time. I mean, they're going nutty. They get a 3K, all headshots, and now Scribe able to finish up with Lordy, watch out for that Shorty. And again, I also think that the Shorty is probably like the best secondary weapon there is. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, sure, you can say the Sheriff because the Sheriff is a one-click, but the Shorty is the clutch weapon. I mean, it's a, what is it, like a 150 credit buy? If you're, you know, you're going gunny, you can just whip it out in the close range, and then that's like a guaranteed kill. I mean, we have seen so many clips from the Shorties already. The Shorty is just that clutch weapon. It's like your little pocket buddy. But regardless, BCU with a impressive 4-round lead here. Simpson College now looking to equalize.
The bonus round has been completely denied. Not even needing one. Simpson College going to play this one out. Briar Cliff's going to have to find a way to win this thrifty if they want to keep the separation and they want to get the double digits first. Flash comes out. Dangerous.
Spike down B.
Oh my goodness.
Last
No,
player standing.
completely caught out. The headhunter shots nowhere near the target.
Scout destroyed.
And what can you do? You got a Spectre in hand, 20 bullets in the magazine. Gonna peek, get the frag, but the trade comes in immediately.
Yep, that it does. But, you know, that's what you expect when you have that that higher buy on your side. Meanwhile, we should be able to see BCU finally come out with their full buy. You know, they were able to kind of make some things work in the previous round. Again, they managed to get 3 eliminations, which is going to be 3 full rebuys coming from Simpson College. So again, not too bad. Also, that's going to be a little extra economy in your pocket. And now they should be able to come with a full buy, maybe turn things around before Simpson College makes a full-on comeback.
Pseudo bonus yet again. And the blast pack of Freight starts to come out. Anomaly looking at the complete wrong angle. Freight gets gunned down, and Siders has to find a way to deny this out. Shots landing for each, both down to 87 and 24 for the shield. Spike is down, 1-man advantage for Briar Cliff. Retake needs to come out. This would be magnum size for Simpson College that they're able to make it happen, but they're just not able to. Siders gets one, and immediately BCU is able to double it up, and Tony is the last one to strike. Odin goes down, and the Omen carrying it does as well.
They'll know what hit them.
Now, just like that, BCU are in the double digits, and they have Diffeurs. I know that's not how you pronounce it. I just like having fun with words. As they will be going in, and again, look how well they're doing. They have 15 limbs to their name. Meanwhile, you do have the Rays Freight, and we all know the Freight train going to be top fragging with 18 limbs. They are doing just swell, and all is well. As they get ready to head now into round 17 in Simpson College. They're going to have to get a huge dub here if they want to try and answer back.
Oh, Freight gets a double kill, and they're past the barrier orb. A-Site is completely forfeited, surrendered over to Briar Cliff, and Bonsai still so far away. And I mean, look at Jet. How do you even manage to get there before the spike gets planted? Simple answer, you're not able to. 2 versus 5. Bonsai has a judge, but they're standing between a whole army, and the net nade gonna come out, spots out Bonsai, and they just drop down.
Not the net nade. You
Not
gotta
the
get
net
out of there. They had to get out of there ASAP. That net nade went out, and they just jumped down into ropes. Good getaway, but now you got the paint shells going out. Bonsai able to avoid the danger. As time continuing to tick away for Simpson College. Now that Tour de Force. Ooh-wee, you better watch out for that. Make sure you don't peek. And they're going to keep Jet at bay. Meanwhile, look at the rest of BCU. They're just on the hunt. They're looking for that raise.
Siders catches out Hariri, but it doesn't matter. Headshot. Bonsai able to find one, but they're going to stick with the judge. There's a Vandal on that body. They decide to stick with the judge. They are out for blood. They are on demon time right now.
Well, also you got to keep in mind, you know, the rest of BCU was also lurking right around that corner. So I mean, I don't think I don't think they thought at least that the Vandal was worth the risk, because again, if they would have pushed that, they probably or may have gotten gunned down before they could get their hands on the Vandal. But regardless, the judge, again, I even said it before going into this matchup, the judge on split hits different, and we've already seen a handful of judge plays. And look at this Scribe, they're breaking out the judge here on B main.
Yes, they are. I love to see it. Briar pushing up through the smoke. Is going to deny. And I think Briar just going to play this a little bit slower. Look at how close Scribe is playing. There's not a lot of presence coming out from mid. And Freight, it's not even going to matter. Scribe tries to get one. They do succeed. But so far, Freight is too far ahead. Siders doing everything in their power to stay alive, but it doesn't matter because Freight plays too much aim labs.
That's ridiculous. I mean, even with the dash and the updraft, they were still able to eventually find the head of the Jet and get the click and the hit. And now only one remains. Anomaly will be gunned down as well. Wrapped up nice, thanks to the kill animation coming from the Omen. And now, once again, it is a BCU match point.
Simpson College does not have the morale for this. They've been beaten down over the past hour. Briar has played a fantastic couple of games, and they are just one round off of winning the series out and advancing to 4-3 on the season. Simpson College right now, they're 2-4. They do not want to fall any further, but if all goes to plan for BCU, that's how things are going to be.
Oh, now take a look at this. The concussion right on target. Here comes the Cocoon. They catch Sage. They are being brought to their death. But will they be able to be freed? You can see they're still caught. And no, the Cocoon able to get the Elim for Konichi in the afterlife, as now Scribe will get a trade in Garage. But look at Freight being the lurky turkey here and having able to find one. And now Hariri, only with 30 health, down on B.
Bring around the Rosie. There is the Sky playing in safe box. Wait. Hariri wants to rotate, I think. No, they're going to wait for Freight. They have a little bit of a crossfire. The paint shell comes out. Freight is unaware of Blight's position and being blocked by the gun. If they decide to peek right now, that could be monumental for the Simpson College side. So much damage is done, but Siders gets away with their life. And Hariri, you have a red carpet to A. You just got to run.
And not only that, but they also have the rendezvous. Even if they did decide to peek here, keep in mind that Jet is one hit. They took some phantom shots to the dome piece. I saw it, you saw it, the people saw it. Not going to take much to get that a limb. Chamber, though, I think they're going to elect to try and rotate out, but hold on, here comes the cabbages. They're going to be able to find where this Chamber is going, but look, now they're running against the clock. The clock is ticking down. You need bare minimum 4 seconds to get this plant off. Hold the phone. There it goes, right at the 5-second mark. They got the time. Spike goes down, and now here we are in the post plant.
1 versus 2. It's 30 HP versus looks to be about 80 and 100. Siders gets healed back up with that overgrowth, and Blight has not taken any damage. The guiding light going to let them know that they're probably going to try to drop from heaven. Siders lets them know, peeks around, gets taken down. Hariri, 1 kill away from the dub, but now they're left with just 4 bullets. You got to reload this, Hariri. Blight gets it to half, peeks around, and gets the frag. Briar can't put it to bed just yet. We got Blight clutching up in the 1v1, bringing Simpson College to 7 rounds.
Yeah, and honestly, that heal was pretty clutch too, being able to get Siders back up and into the fight because, you know, even though it didn't really amount to much, just the looming threat of that 1v2 retake had Hariri, you know, playing a little bit more conservative. I mean, we know Hariri, you know, they're not afraid to push, but when you're in that 2v1, you have to play a little bit far back, and they played off site, and that gave the opportunity for the Rays from Simpson College to go in and get it to at least half, and then gave them the freedom to turn and just get a really good elimination there onto Hariri. And now Simpson College get a little bit of gust in their sails as Siders will get the first elim here in round 20.
One tap, Freight goes down. Your duelist is Dunzo. Jump peeking from Scribe, catches out the intel, but this is going to be a push. This is probably going to have to be a retake unless Simpson College wants to push up immediately, but no, the wall is going to deny that. They've got full control over this B site, but they've got to get that plant down. They cannot wait. That nade's going to come out, slow this retake down, and now the spike goes down. Pressure reversed on a Simpson College, starts the 45-second timer.
Oh, and thank God Deadlock had already used their net nade. Now Simpson College don't have to worry about it. Can you imagine how insane it would be if they had 2 of those?
Oh my goodness. What happened? Hold, what just happened? Tony, completely going insane. We got Milk as well, turning the kill feed entirely red. Everything was going fine, and then it wasn't. 20 rounds, that's all it takes. And I mean, I don't know what happened, but I think Briar Cliff just decided to bring out maximum overdrive, turning the entire kill feed red in the span of like 3 seconds. I mean, sometimes you just gotta go all out. Ego peek, swing out, counter strafe, Ferrari peek. In Valorant, sure, why not? It's gonna be Briar Cliff taking map 2, 13-7.
You know what happened there at the end? I'll tell you what happened. When we saw, you know, Simpson College is going for that retake, they got overconfident because they knew the net nade had been used, so they didn't have to worry about it anymore. And then they had all the confidence in the world, and then they just pushed. And what they didn't know is that you had Tony there in the corner, and they lined up perfectly for Tony. Tony shot straight through all 3, managed to get kill participation on all 3 as well, getting the double LM. And again, even though it's so hard to avoid the lineup, you know, we talk about it all the time. Don't stack. Don't line yourselves up, but that time it was diagonal. It wasn't even a straight lineup. So again, it was just really hard to avoid, and they just walked into Tony, who was there and waiting to capitalize on it. And just like that, BCU walk away with a 2-0 sweep over Simpson College.
That they do. And oh man, the net nade. Of course it was the net nade, Cap. Oh my goodness. Fantastic game from Briar Cliff. Fantastic games. A whole series went fantastically. Simpson College just not able to keep up. When it got down to the nitty-gritty, and also when it was smooth sailing, it just seemed like Briar Cliff was 2-3 steps ahead of them at every corner of the game. And I mean, the scoreline shows it was 13-5 the first time around, 13-7 the second time around. So you don't get that series scoreline by not being better than your opponent by a little bit, or not being a little more prepared than your opponent is what I should say.
Oh yeah, they came into this one with the right map knowledge. I mean, they picked Haven, and you know, clearly that was their bread and butter. They played great, but then things got a little bit tricky because then they picked Split, you know, the side of Simpson College. They brought Split to the party, and you know, that one seems to be a little bit more difficult for a lot of teams. But I got to tell you, the way that we saw BCU acclimate from going to Haven to Split, they still were able to play it fantastically. And even with a Deadlock and a Chamber, they went double Sentinel on Split, probably the most unorthodox composition I've seen on Split so far. And then they played it to a T. They played it perfectly.
I mean, I was expecting a double controller, and they absolutely blew my mind with what they were able to do with a double Sentinel play. Not just a double Sentinel, but Chamber and Deadlock. If it was something like a Cypher and a KJ, or maybe even a Cypher and a Chamber, I would have been like, you know, I see the vision. But I'm going to be honest, Chamber and Deadlock absolutely threw me for a loop. But you know what? It works, so kudos to them. Congratulations, BCU. You advance to 4-3 on the season, and GG's Simpson College. Better luck next time. They did not play terribly, but they just were not as prepared.
Yeah, again, you got to do yourself a little bit of that homework, and now is a perfect opportunity because you get to go back and watch your replays and then come back better. I even said this before we came into this match. Simpson College, they showed up a little bit short last week. You know, they had to come up with some solutions to the tiny little details where they kind of fell short at. And you know what? And every time they come out, they do improve. So I think they're going to continue to improve. But for now, it is going to be Briar Cliff to come away with the win and now put themselves in the 3rd seed here, and that is a great showing for Briar Cliff, getting a massive win today, and now they're neck and neck with Cleveland State.
Yeah, they're actually able to sneak past Cleveland State as they have the better round differential, so that is fantastic work from Briar. It was a much needed dub for them, and Simpson College, they could have tried to stay in the 4th seed, but no, they are going to slip down. And they're going to slip down a little bit further than what they want to. But you know what? It's all right. It's all right. We got everything done this week.